Hey y'all, welcome to another video on the Ludico Arms channel. So we already got the head unit in, that's in another video, and this video is going to be replacing the factory speakers. So the first ones I'm going to do are these back two corner speakers, and you can see right back there there's a grill, and then there's a grill right here, and the speakers are behind those. And those grills are part of the whole plastic piece there. So we gotta get to that. So I think the first order of business is going to be to pull this big plastic tray out. And far as I can tell, it's got 3 Torx screws. You'll need a T25 bit to get them out. And then I think that will just lift up out of there. I'm not positive, but we'll see. So let me see if I can set this some sort of way here where you could see what I'm doing, but alright, so I got those 3 screws out, so I'm hoping that this will just kind of lift up out of here. Yeah, I think it does. Yep, there we go. Alright. Pull that up out of the way. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, now we can start to work on seeing about getting these sides off. And I'm hoping I can get it out enough to not have to take a whole bunch of other stuff apart just for this, but we will see. So let me figure it out, and then I will bring you back and show you. Be back with that. All right, so getting access to these back speakers is not that bad once you get the tray out. As you see, I've got that side exposed, so I'm going to show you this side real quick. And what you got to do is come right here, and of course I left the screwdriver on the other side. Oh, get you a flathead screwdriver or one of those fancy plastic trim tools, either way. And right here, see this joint? You want to kind of get under the edge of it and get it up a little bit, and there it goes. It'll pop up, and then you can just kind of go along, and you just want to pull it up. It's just tabs there stuck in those slots, but it's over the top of this one that we're interested in. So grab it and pull it up out of its tab right there. Then let me set you here, and I guess I need to hold on a second. Y'all bear with me, I gotta see if this is in the camera view so you can watch what I'm doing. Okay, all right, so to get access to this speaker back here, you don't really need any tools other than the screwdriver to pop that loose once you get the tray out. But you got to kind of jiggle wiggle this out. It's got a couple of plastic tabs, and you got to get this top piece loose because it's also involved. But once you get that kind of loose like that, and you just kind of wiggle it around, and up here you got to kind of get it loose from up under the, there we go, up underneath here. There's a couple of tabs that you got to get loose. You got to get popped out like that. And then you can pop it kind of out from underneath of the, pop it kind of out from underneath of the one on top of it, and just kind of leave it sit over out of the way like that. And now we've got our speaker exposed just like that. So let me get everything I'm gonna need for the next step, and I'll bring you back and show you that. Be right back. All right, it's time to get these back speakers installed. So we've got all the plastic out of the way. And these things, they've got 3 screws in them, and this back one's going to be kind of hard to get to because you're in here at a dang crazy ass angle, and you got to push all this cardboard back to get the driver on it. That got it. And one at the bottom. All right. So it's got 3 screws. Then you can kind of pull it on out of there and unplug the wiring harness. And there we go. So if you're using the factory wiring harness, you'll need to get one of those adapters that plugs in here and then hooks to the speaker. But because I'm not using that, I'm just going to lay it back down in there. And that way, if somebody in the future wants to use the factory wiring, it's there for them. And I'm going to take my new speaker wire and run it up in here like so. So we got that there. Now I've got to get my wire connectors on here and get the new speaker. And we're going to have to probably drill more holes because it doesn't look like this is set up for that other speaker. So let me go grab the other speaker, the new speaker, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I took the new speaker and I stuck it in the hole, and I used one of the original bolt holes to hold it up there. So I'm going to mark where I need to drill to put the other screws in it. Sorry, not bolt. Then I'm going to pull this back off of here because I don't want any of the little metal bits sticking to my new speaker. So we'll stick this up here out of the way. And then let's see if I can do this without the bit walking. So because of the factory speaker, although it's the same size as this speaker, it's got a larger frame surrounding it. And so I cannot put all four of these. See, it's got 4 bolt holes on this new speaker, but we're only going to be able to use 3 of them because the 4th is going to be too close to the edge. Need a new battery. Alright, let me get a new battery and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got my connectors heat shrinked on here. One thing to remember is important is to make sure that you've got your polarity correct. So on most aftermarket speakers, you got a small and a large connector. The small one's going to be your negative and the large one is going to be your positive. So make sure when you crimp all this together that you've got your polarity correct, or else your speakers are not going to sound good. So now that we got that on there, I need to put some protective covering on this. And of course I got the wrong size in my hand. I'll be right back. Alright, you can see I've got my protective covering over that to keep it from getting cut up on any of this metal in here. And I've got it run up and out the hole where the speaker goes. So now we got to hook up these little connectors. There's that one. This one needs to be crimped a little bit. Alright, I gotta crimp that real quick. Okay, so I had to tighten up that one just a little bit. Sometimes you have to pinch the prongs on it closed a little bit to get it to do right. So now we can get this up in its hole and get our screws started. And I'm using the same screws that I took out of the old speaker on this, because I have them and they're convenient. So now we can run these screws home. Once I get it in there straight. go. So that one's in. Now I'm gonna move over and do the other side exactly the same way. And then I'll bring you back when we put all this plastic back on and show you how that goes. So I'll be back with that. Okay, now that we've got both of the new speakers installed, we need to get all these plastic pieces back in. And so this is guaranteed to be a pain in the behind. What you've got to do is get this back under here and into its spot and clipped into place. Fight it somewhat. Like I said, you'll just have to keep working it until you get it up in there, just like that, like it's supposed to be. Something's not right here. Alright, so that one's back in, and then you got to come along over here and get this end under that one, get it back in its spot, and then there we go. All set. So I'm gonna put the other side back on just like that, and then I'll come back and we'll put the tray back in. Be right back with that. Alright, I'm not sure how good you'll be able to see this, but I'm gonna get this tray put back in here. There's not really a good place to set the camera up in order for me to do this. Get this out of the way for a second. Just like that. So this thing has 3 screws that go in it, in these holes. They're T25s. I'm going to go around to the other side to get that one, and then put all my stuff back in here, and then I'll bring you back and we'll do these door speakers. So I'll be back with that. Alright, so we need to pull these door panels off so we can put our front speakers in. So the first step, let me see if I can get this where you can see it, is if you pull the handle up, see if I can get some light down in there while I'm doing this. If you pull the handle up right back there where I'm pointing, there's a Torx bolt. It's in at this angle right here. and it is a T40. So what we want to do is pull that bolt off. I already loosened mine because I was trying to see if I had the right torques a bit. It wasn't that tight, but if you get that off, you back that off, then you can pull your door handle off. So that's the first step. Then once you get that off, you got some screws to remove. So there's one right up here. Can you see that? One right up there in the top corner, and there's one here, and then there's two in the bottom here, at least as far as I've been able to tell. So let me get those pulled out. Okay, so the top two, the one in the top corner and the one behind the door handle, are one size, and the bottom two are a smaller size. So you shouldn't have to worry about mixing them up. So now that all those screws are out, we should be able to just pop this door panel off. Okay, so this thing, it doesn't have the pop-on things like the other. You got to pull up on it, and it'll come loose. There we go. And once you get it up, just got to pull your electrical out of your switches there. And then you can just set your door aside. So once we got that out, now we can get to our speaker here. Looks like it's got 4 Phillips head screws holding it on. And then you pull it out and pop off your clip, and there you go. And you can see just how puny this little factory speaker is. It's no wonder this radio sounded like crap. Alright, now that that's out, I'm going to take a break from this, well, from filming, and get my speaker wire run through to the door, and then I'll bring you back in when we go to put the new speaker in. So if you're reusing the factory wires, then you can just plug your adapter. If you bought it from Crutchfield or whatever, they make an adapter that'll plug into that and then plug into your new speakers. But we're not going to be using this, so it'll just be hanging out in there doing nothing. So let me get this figured out. It's going to be a pain because there's all kind of stuff in the way in there. And then I will bring you back when we go to put the new speaker in and put the door panel back on. Be right back. All right, I finally got my wire through there. Getting it through that rubber boot is a royal pain in the behind. So we're ready to put the new speaker in. You got to take your old speaker, has this little kind of spacer bracket clipped onto it. You need to pull that off because you're going to use it with your new speaker to properly space it out. So hook your wires up. Now if you are reusing the factory wires, you'll have to hook your adapter in there and all that good stuff. But get it kind of set in the hole. Get one of your screws that you took out. Get it through both pieces. Run it down in there a little ways. Then you can grab your other one here. Well, what the hell's going on now? I thought I had this thing all lined up. It did line up earlier. Okay, let's see what is it. All right. So once you got your new speaker mounted up, then we've got to get our door panel back on. All right, so we got that back on. Now we're going to take our door panel, and what we're going to do is get all of these hooks. Let me turn this around so you can see. So you got all these hooks on this side that fit into corresponding holes in the door panel. So what you want to do is hold this up here, plug in your two, wherever, how many you have, plugs for the power windows. And locks. It's not. Get those plugged in, and then you support this and kind of get everything, make sure it's all in. See, we are out right here. Make sure you get your door lock piece in there too. Nope, I missed one. I don't like these hooks at all. Alright, that got it. So once you got it on there, then you can look in your little screw holes and see that they lined up, and you can go ahead and start putting all your little screws back in. Your door panel will hold it on. Get these bottom two in. So once you got those in, the only thing left is put the door handle back on. And so when you tighten that bolt down, just remember, you're just bolting a piece of plastic on, so it doesn't have to be ridiculous tight. And that's it, one side down. One side down. Now we will have to do the other side. So the other side will be exactly the same as this side. It's just over there. And it's got a couple of more electrical plugs when you pull the door up off of the hooks. But the speaker and everything's the same. Running the wires, whichever way you do it. So, let me go get that side done. And then once I get both of these doors done, and get my floor mats and the console put back together and everything, I will bring you back and we will fire this thing up and see how it sounds. So I'll be back with that. All right, all done. Everything is back in, including the other parts of the console. Everything is hooked up. Got our bass wheel right here for the subwoofer. Everything is working. Now, sadly, I've got it muted because I don't want to get a copyright ding. I wish I could let y'all hear how this thing sounds. So, the only issue we've got now is the set of JBL 6x9s I've got in the doors. The one in this driver's door is cracking. It's got a short in it, which sucks because it's a brand spanking new speaker. And it's causing the amp to kick out on short circuit. Not much I can do about it other than order another set of speakers, because that you know, the speakers come already put together. So I will order another set, and probably not the same ones. Probably not from the same place, and put them in. But yep, everything besides that. Now if you turn the volume down to like below 20, like right now I think it's at 17. Hopefully YouTube didn't pick up that little short snippet. When you hit 20, that's when the amp goes out on short circuit. And so I went in there. This head unit, you can set high pass filters for all of your regular speakers, and you can set a low pass filter for the subwoofer. You can do it all from the head unit. So I have all the amp, everything on the amp and the subwoofer is straight through. I'm not using the crossovers built into them. And I can go in the head unit and fade everything to the back two speakers and turn it all the way up as high as I want to, and it's fine. Fade them to the front speakers, and you can hear this one cracking when you turn it up. This one right here, you can hear it crackling. So it's definitely got a short circuit in it, which absolutely sucks. But the good thing is, the hardest part about this for me was running the new speaker wires. That's all done, so all I've got to do is get another speaker and put it in there. Other than that, we are all done. And that is how you replace the speakers in one of these little single cab Dodge. So hopefully this video's helped somebody out or gave you some entertainment. And appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Y'all have a good one.